So I'm gonna be a geek, but look at this soil. We've struck gold. Now the place looks like bloody Gallipoli. But it just seems to be never-ending revelations on this job. Hello, people of YouTube, how are we all doing? Dad has let me loose on the Corvus, which is quite nice, and there's a reason for it though, and I'll tell you about that in a minute. I'm just heading down across the barley stubble, as you can see here, because we've got a big job on our hands. Now, I told you about this back when we were harvesting this barley. We had a couple of patches where it hadn't grown very well, and it's because we've got some blocked drains. Today, we've got a digger that has come this morning on hire, so we've got a big Crawford's farm on this and gone full bore in with the digger. Dad's tracking the digger across the field right now. We're going to try and work out where these drains are backing up, like what's wrong with them, because there's some issue somewhere and we've got to try and find it. We've got that digger for a whole week, so it would be kind of nice if we could find this one relatively early, because we want to do a little bit of ditching. There's another drain the other side of the farm on some wheat ground that was bubbling up, kind of needs sorting, so we need to find that. And there's just some other bits and pieces around the yard we want to get done while we've got it. I came in here yesterday with the hedge cutter and cut and trimmed all the ditch out, cut that hedge back. Dad came in with the topper and just topped this strip here so that we've got something to work with. The main drain empties here. It kind of runs back towards the buggy, just at the side of the buggy there, and then it splits and it goes off up there and it goes heads down there towards the cottages, and it's that one going that way that seems to be the problem, although that one might be backing up as well, but we just don't really know. We have got the drainage maps, which I'll show you in a minute, because interestingly, when we looked on the drainage maps, one of these drains, and Dad did explain to me, but I was doing something else at the time, so I wasn't listening, wasn't backfilled with gravel, so there is a good chance that some silt's got in the pipe and blocked the pipe up. But we'll find out in a minute when he gets here, and we'll have a look at it and see what we can find. Here he is, starting to get here now. I'm not sure if he's actually ever drove a 360 dig like that. I mean, I'm normally the one that drives them. It could be interesting. He's used to the old backhoe on the back of the tractor. Hired this from JB Tool Hire, which is a kind of local hire company, do loads of plant machinery. It's absolutely boiling today as well. It's got no aircon, so I'll let him drive it if he wants. I'll take the drainage rods out. Now he's got to try and work out how the quick hitch works. I mean, this is going to be a learning curve for us all. It's going to be difficult for me to watch this and not try and get involved. Now, he's got a bit of paper in here with the old drainage map. Now, we've got a photo, which is one I took with a drone back in the spring, and then we've got the metering wheel as well to try and work out where we're supposed to be digging. So you can see up on here, we're down in this part of the field here. So that's where it's emptying out, and we want to dig up just here to start off with, and then we're going to try and find it over here afterwards, which is somewhere about here on this tram line where the tram lines meet. We can find it in the ditch. We know where the end is. We've just got to kind of work out where we need to dig over here to find it. If we can find it down there, we'll put the tanker on and try and blow some water down and see if we can get rid of it or not. It's just going to be a case of breaking into it until we work out where the problem lies.
Yeah. It says it's 32 degrees, doesn't it? 30 degrees here. 13 feet up, but we know that because I found that. 43 feet from the end of the pot coming across on the
30-degree angle, but off of a hedge. We don't know which one it is. It'd be somewhere about under your digger. Upon further investigation, we think it's a little bit more that way. So we've had a bit more of another educated guess, and we're going to extend that trench that way a little bit. I think we're deep enough, but yeah, we're just not quite right.
Some red there, I bet that's been a clay pipe or something.
You can see here, if you look close, there's a load of gravel, which means we're getting close. So we've had a dig, we found it. Found the pipe, but we want the joint, because there's a joint from the one that goes up there to one that goes along there somewhere. We thought that one was further out, but it's not. So we've got to now follow this back and see if we can find where it tees into each other, and then we're making some progress. And yes, before everyone points it out, Dad has put the soil where he needs to dig. Rookie mistake. Right, so we've dug down, we've found this. This piece of terracotta pipe here is where the two drains meet. So there's one going that way and one coming this way. And they join in here. Now, this is the one we're trying to concentrate on at the minute. We might have a look at this one if we get a chance. But what we decided to do is we're going to take the digger down the field, try and find the other end of this pipe, because it kind of ends down the field in an old ditch line that's been piped in years ago. Crack into it there, put some water down it and see if we get some water here, because we know then if we get water here, it's not this pipe, it'll be all the subsidiary pipes that are coming off of it. Don't get water here, then we've got a pipe issue. Somewhere, let's just come past that tree, somewhere here-ish. Actually, we've put a marker in here. We put a post in here back in the spring, so there's a good chance that it is just here somewhere. And there's a drain coming down, there's a post over there. That's going up that, which would be the old ditch line. It probably is somewhere just here. We reckon we found it. So we've just put a bit of a plastic bag over the hole. We're just slightly this side of it, so we just want to dig it out that way. What we're looking for is a drain that runs that way, which is an old ditch line, teeing into the end of this one. We're pretty on it, actually. Some boys, I tell you. Took my bag, but that'll do. Took the bag? Yeah, but it's alright. So upon further inspection, we kind of haven't found it. We found a drain running this way, but there should be one crossing it. It's like an old horseshoe drain, so this is old. So if you don't know, you just get these old clay pipes that are half moons in the shape of a horseshoe. That's why it's called a horseshoe drain. Sometimes you get double horseshoes, so they put one underneath, one on top. That was like a big drain. These ones are just single horseshoes, and then this pipe, which I thought was underneath, is actually just on the joints so that the joints don't sink. It's pretty blocked though, so we'll dig into that at some point and see whether we got any water coming down there, but we want to find this end one first. So we're going to dig a bit further that way and see if we can find it. Whilst he's digging there though, I'm going to show you this, because he's dangerous. Look at this, I'm going to be a geek, but look at this soil. So you see this? This is proper soil. You don't tend to get soil like this on an arable farm, because arable farms are continuous arable, so the soil gets degraded. But look at how much topsoil I've got. We're coming right down here until we hit any kind of clay. Now we're on quite heavy clays here, but it just goes to show, like all these fissures down here where we've got roots coming down, and you can still see all the fibres. Look at this, all root fibres, because the soil's good. So if the soil's like that, what it means is when you drill a plant and you have a seed, your roots can get down into the deep soil. You get more moisture into your plant, it's better for your plant. Just amazing soil. You can tell just how crumbly these banks are. Look at it. And it smells. Oh yeah, that's what soil's about. That's what soil should be like. Dark, and it's kind of like chocolatey, and it's nice. You can see here the clay content sort of down here before we hit any sort of subsoil, which is nice. We've got probably a good 18 inches of topsoil, which is a lot of topsoil. If we come here, look at these big lumps, you can see just like this is the bit that was right on the top, so that was the top of the soil. It just crumbles, and it's all got little fibrous roots in it. Like these big arable boys keep going on and on and on about chucking more muck on and it's good for your soil, whatever else. Us guys, we've been doing it for years. We've struck gold. Look at this. We found the pipe. It's further towards the ditch than we thought. The map says 33 feet out from the ditch, because it's an old map. We thought that'd be just there somewhere, but I think it might be from the centre of the hedge. I don't know. It doesn't really matter what it is. That's where a pipe is. The field's starting to look a little bit like Time Team now. There's just holes everywhere. That were a good programme, wasn't it? You don't Time Team anymore. What happened to that? That pipe sounds pretty hollow, so we think that one's probably all right. We're imagining now, considering that's all old horseshoes, I think that's going to be a big job. Fingers crossed that's not the case, but it seems to be that way at the minute. Right, getting somewhere, and it's hot. I've got a sweat on. It's like the first time of the year that the sun's come out and I'm on a spade. I feel like the guy at the council, you know, always stands next to the hole. That's my job today. But we've found here the main drain, which runs right along there, joins into there, and it goes into that corner, which is great. And that seems to be in really good condition. Well, the other thing we found is this horseshoe drain here. It looks to me like it's sunk, and it's chock-a-block full of soil. It's probably only got a quarter of the space in it that it should normally have, and it's not even teed in here, so whoever's put it in hasn't properly teed it into this pipe. We're gonna have a dig over there because there's another horseshoe drain over there somewhere. We're gonna have a dig and see if we can find that one, but by the time we're done today, I think at least we'll know what we're making for. I reckon for a laugh what we should do is get Dad to go up by the road and get the ditching blade on and dig some of those test holes that they do for the building sites. That'd get the neighbours talking, wouldn't it? I reckon we've solved the place for building then. You can see here we've had a bit of a dig in the winter or in the spring trying to find this pipe, because we reckon it comes straight along here and into the ditch, because that pipe that we found over there ends just there, so this one must go into the ditch. We couldn't find it in the ditch, so we're gonna have a dig here, and if we have to, we can dig it back to the ditch, find out whether this one's collapsed as well or whether it's just fell in at the ditch. But yeah, bit of digging to do. Still a bit of digging to do. This one's a bit of a dodgy one because we haven't really got a drainage map for this. We've only got the drone photo, so it's a little bit like, could be anywhere 5 meters either side of where the digger is right now. Where we're digging now, which is here, is where the buggy is parked there on this picture. The hole we dug over there is just here, and then there is a drain, and you can't quite see it, but there's a green post over there, which we found. That's in the ditch. We found the end of that. That one's running. So we're in the right place. It's kind of slightly closer to that one than it is to this one. And I've got a tape measure here because they're about 2.5 foot down, something like that. So I mean, we're way further than that now. We're getting on 3 foot down. And gotta remember, these were dug in by spades probably, so they ain't gonna be the deepest. I think we're in the wrong place a little bit. Right, so we had a bit of a stress last night trying to work out where all these drains were running, and well, Dad came back after I'd gone home and had a dig, and now the place looks like bloody Gallipoli. Look at it, there's trenches everywhere. But we have found some interesting things. Over here, we've got a weird drain. Now this is weird. There's a drain comes up the field that way, and we've dug it by that blue post there, found the drain, tracked it back, found the drain here, and if you just jump in this trench, just here, look, you can see that drain comes along and then goes into a 45-degree pipe and runs along that way. Rather than go to the ditch, which is just there, it goes that way, and we think it's probably because that ditch is too high or low. The drain's too low, the ditch is too high, so they've brought it this way to get a bit more fall on it. It then comes along here, tees into another pipe that we didn't know existed, which is here, and then Dad dug along here and created this big old trench and followed that pipe back, because we dug out in the field over there and couldn't find it. And what we found is that this pipe ends just here. It just ends, just stops. So it comes, I don't know, whatever that is, 40 yards, 50 yards, and just stops. Because that aims straight at that wet point. So we thought there was a drain there that goes to that wet spot. Wet spot, that's a great name for a bar. It goes straight for that wet bit, but there's no drain. So what we've decided to do, put the little trenching bucket on, and we're gonna dig from there straight through that wet bit between the two drains that we know exist and put a new one in, because it just seems to make the most sense, and get rid of that wet spot, because obviously something's not right there. It needs to get the water away. We can tee into the end of that one, boom, straight up there, job done. Oh my God, honestly, more revelations. Right, this is never ending. It's getting ridiculous now. Dad thought he'd found the end of the pipe over there. I started digging a new trench in to put a new pipe in, and what we found is the pipe starts again. So there's a bit of the pipe missing, but it's pretty knackered. So we've decided, after all of this, I'm going to continue to dig up there. I'm going to follow this pipe. I'm going to go 100 meters because that's the full length of the plastic pipe. Dig this old pipe out and just start again. That's just pulling that soil back now from the trench so I can go over the top of there with the digger and just flick all the pipes up. And as well, that will just give us a nice line with that pipe. Then we'll know we'll get the right depth all the way along. But it just seems to be never-ending revelations on this job. Right, so we've got that dug, we've got some gravel, the pipe is up the field, we are ready to go, but the weather's broke. So now it is raining, it's too wet to go on there and do anything, so we're just gonna have to wait. The digger's gone back, we'll fill it all in with a bucket on the forklift, so it won't be too much of a big deal, but we are at least ready to go, which is good news. But with all that, I'm not gonna get this finished on this video, so you're gonna have to wait and see what happens. Hopefully, next time we will get this whole deal done. Whatever you get up to this weekend, have a good one, stay dry, stay safe, look after yourself, and I'll see you in a bit. Ta-da!